in 12 innings on the year against Badamo, who is by Atlantic League in this league fall in the 27 to 32 category. First pitch to Rico Noel, a called strike from Badamo.
I remember seeing Stephen Drew almost hit the building out there in right field with a home run.
The grand slam on Memorial Day off Joe Dooley in our first season. To Noel, 0-1 off the inside corner, a ball and a strike. It was funny. Recently, Joe posted on social media something about Drew hitting a home run. I remember when I've given up a home run to that guy. I'm like, yeah.
In the young Newark Bears 15, 20 years ago, boy, they had the Canseco boys, I think Ricky Henderson played a little bit.
Tim Raines, before he took over as manager.
Yeah, there were a lot of Yankees or former Yankees.
2-1 to Noel in the air toward left center field. Hit pretty well, but gliding over his fields, he'll make the catch. Noel retired, 1 out. Blake Galen will come to the plate.
Quick question for you. I want to see if you have to look it up, Dave. What's the home run record in the Atlantic League?
Glenn Murray.
Number?
158.
Look at that. I knew you had it in you.
Low
158. That's a lot of home runs. And now that's also I don't know if it's something you want to honor because you don't want to be here technically, but it's
always the mixed bag. Ball too high and outside.
It's kind of like the Bull Durham thing. You don't want to set the
minor league home run record.
Glenn Murray. I put that in my little database.
Of course, at one point, our hitting coach here in Lancaster.
Oh, really?
2007, I believe. Galen batting 3-0.
Right, he was here it was only for 1 year, though, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so.
Badamo's pitch spotted in the zone. Galen will bat at 3-1. And I do believe that he is the all-time franchise leader in career walks, but I haven't tracked it. I think he's past Gonzalez and Woods now. And he'll get another one. 1 out, base. And in another couple of minutes, he may need them back. 0-1 to the Barnstormers right fielder. Ground ball right side. That's going to find its way through. A base hit. Galen will stop at second. Gindle coming up with a single. He's had, which he did in Bridgeport against Long Island over the weekend. Totally different story. He hit 3 home runs the last 2 games.
Well, he was on fire before he went into that series as well, and I know you were talking so highly about him, talking about the numbers and the pace he is on for a first half and what could be a full season are huge numbers. And he's still on pace for 30 home runs, 100 RBIs.
Oh, easily. We're 40. Take the numbers right now and multiply them by 2.5.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss against Badamo, though. It is 0-2 against Badamo last week. He flied to left, grounded to third, and grounded to first. The first 2 of those at-bats were with runners in scoring position.
Would you say he's on an MVP track for the season?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about it. If you were to, again, multiply the current numbers by 2.5, he'd end up with 40 home runs and 128 runs batted in. I don't see that being beaten. Pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss. The bat goes flying into the crowd, and Hobson is gone on strikes for the second out. Badamo gets a big out number 2, and that's even a longer walk back to the dugout than normal. It's up to Halton now. Sean at 247 with 11 home runs and 34 runs batted in. They retrieve Hobson's bat.
I'm always scared to see that go into the state. I'm not worried about I'm worried about the elderly or the very young.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I had this discussion with my wife the other night about, infants, and if you come to the stands and sit from dugout to dugout without a net in front of you, be aware, because those balls are screaming off that bat. And then when you throw a bat in, it makes it even worse.
First pitch, strike, because there's nothing a glove is going to do to save you with the bat.
I was watching the College World Series the other night, and a metal bat was released, hit a elderly woman in the head, a big gash on her head, and I just said, I'm always worried about the infants and you're not paying attention. 1 strike to Halton. Badamo down and in. It is 1-1. I would love to see them, and Eric May will tell you this has been my, if I have a soapbox thing, everybody has their thing, I've always said they should take the net that are behind home plate here and extend them at least to the dugout.
It's being discussed, and they've done it
Oh, wow. Okay.
in affiliated minor league baseball.
I'd be the happiest man ever, you know?
Into the dirt. He did not go, says Silvio Martinez. 2 balls and a strike to halt.
I don't think it limits your experience.
It's being discussed. Most fans hate sitting behind the net. They want the open view. If you're sitting where I do, you're so used to the net, you don't even see it anymore.
Well, and I see it perfectly fine. And if you want to touch and feel the guys, you can get down below the dugout. I think it gives you plenty of time to react down there. But right here, beside the dugout, is just...
The 2-1, and Halton hits it in the air, short right center. This one will belong to the right fielder, Galvan. First inning, knocked in an unearned run.
Well, the good news is Bergeson looks really good. Looks like he's on. His stuff is sharp tonight. So far.
Lastings Millage, hottest hitter average-wise on this ball club right now. Roll it up the first base side. Will stay foul. 1 strike to Millage. He's 17 out of 40, batting .425 for his last 11 games. Average for the year at .321. He has not had enough plate appearances to qualify to be in the top 10. He would be 4th. And at times he has been in there, but he just hasn't played often enough. Just a handful of at-bats short, if a handful. 1 strike on Millage. Badamo coming back, and that ball is looped to behind first base. Back on it goes Burrows. He'll surround it, and 1 out. Bringing on Weber. Burrows going back and making sure that he had that one secured. Looked like it almost got away there for a split second. Garrett Weber, 277 with 5 homers, 19 runs batted in. Takes the pitch down and away for ball 1. Weber doesn't have an RBI against Bridgeport. He does have 8 hits. This is a guy who has great power to right center field. And this particular stadium has served him very well.
Well, it's here last week. He hit a home run to right, a big home run.
Ground ball here, slowly hit. The shortstop Hernandez gets a nice big hop and throws out Weber. 2 up, 2 down. Anderson De La Rosa will come to the plate. Badamo is among the league leaders in earned run average coming into tonight at 2.76. He has feasted on the Barnstormers. Then you take Dennis O'Grady, who is Saturday night starter for Long Island, has done incredibly well against everybody else. And the Barnstormers, specifically Casey Hobson, give him some serious agita. The heartburn to acid reflux to the max.
This is sponsored by Malox.
Yeah, exactly. Tums. The De La Rosa first pitch strike. It is 0-1.
Well, both pitchers, if you notice, and this is a good learning lesson for anybody watching at home that's young, both pitchers are pounding the zone. And we saw last time we did this, pitchers that struggled couldn't find or couldn't get ahead, couldn't find the zone.
And that is the secret to beating the Barnstormers, and we've seen that now for about the last 3-4 weeks. The Barnstormers are just 12-15 in their last 27 ball games. They're losing a lot of games against right-handed pitchers who just get out there and throw strikes consistently. Swing and a miss by De La Rosa. It is 1-2. The other day it was a lefty. Rafael Perez shutting the Barnstormers down for the first 6 innings before Hobson hit a home run off of him in the 7th. Badamo working on a 1-2-3 inning here to De La Rosa. It is upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But when the Barnstormers went on that 18-7 run that set them up in first place over the span of about a month, they were scoring at least 3 runs, banging out at least 7 hits every game. We're not seeing that anymore. We're not seeing that level of consistency from the offense. And back then we were talking about how it was a different guy every night. And now it seems that we're facing pitchers who are able to shut the entire lineup down. That didn't happen in that 18-7 stretch. One night it'd be Halton, one night it'd be Gindel, one night it'd be KC, one night it'd be Galen, one night it'd be Vladimir Frias or Garrett Weber. And now it just, we're having these games 2 runs on 6 hits, and not able to pick up the wins off of those because the Barnstormers really haven't been able to win low-scoring ball games.
Enrico Noel's done a great job of filling in the void. At leadoff, stealing bases. So you can't blame it on well, we lost our leadoff man.
Well, it started before Darian left. There's a ground ball just to the third base side of home plate. Easy play for Jose. Tyler Badamo getting his signal from his battery mate Jose Heel, ready to start his third inning of work, and it's fouled to the screen. 1 strike. I have only 26 pitches thrown by Bergeson through 3 innings.
I believe it. I almost asked you last inning how many pitches has he thrown, but I didn't want to, in the middle of the inning, jinx it in any way. He's getting a lot of, first 3 pitches, it seems, someone to swing and make contact. He's pitching to contact, as we said.
Breaking ball spins low. It's 1-1. I think tonight's really a night where you can afford to do it. We saw a couple of games over the weekend. The ball was really jumping here. I don't know that will be the case tonight.
Well, it always jumps to right if you catch it decent, wind or no wind.
But some nights more than others.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always cavernous in the left and right field gaps.
Sliced foul. Reyes batting 2-2 against the mystery known as Tyler Badamo. You take away his numbers against the Barnstormers, and his stats are good, but they're just not as good. 3.65 ERA. Breaking ball, and Frias drives that toward right center field. Over, however, goes Myers out deep into the gap and left center field back in the first inning.
He's the tiniest guy out there.
1-0. He can pull with some power, so he may hit a home run or 2 on the road. I don't know that he's going to get one out of this ballpark at any point, because when he hits the ball deep, he hits it around to the left side. We've seen him get some doubles into the corner and whatnot. 1-1. Noel takes a second strike, but Damo in a pretty good rhythm as well. The Barnstormers and Bridgeport both in need of a win tonight. The 2 second-place teams getting together. There's strike 3. Noel, Sean Halton homer in the 7th. Now to Galen, it's low. Ball 1-0. Badamo shut the Barnstormers down here in early May in a game the Barnstormers rallied to win late after he was out. Ball 1-0. And it breaks into the zone. Galen will bat at 1-1. The Barnstormers cannot figure out a pattern here.
No. And his stuff's not electric either. I'm sitting there going, what is he throwing that's just nasty? He seems to pound the zone, and he moves it and changes.
1-1. Galen with a smash that trickles off the glove of the first baseman Burrows of Abreu Fields, but by then it's too late, and the Barnstormers get a 2-out base. 2 outs with a man on board. Gindel takes a pitch outside. Ball 1, no strikes. Barnstormers have their third base runner of the game. Bridgeport's had 2, and both have been thrown out on the bases. Minimum 9 batters faced by Bergeson so far. Galen scrambles back in. Blake has 8 steals for the year. He's 1 away from being number 2 all-time in that category, but a long way for him to go for number 1 in Quincy Foster.
Yeah. I still hear people talk about Quincy. Made a lasting impression here.
1-0 pitch, and Gindel pulls that out the right. That's going to bounce off the wall. It'll be played by Galvez there. Gindel held to a single. Galen around to third. Caleb. Men at the corners. The Barnstormers trying to cash in here. Badamo to Hobson, forces him back off the plate. 1-0. KC batting only 194 against Bridgeport in the season series. It's hard to hold Casey Hobson down like that, but Bridgeport has found some kind of a secret. The 1-0 pitch, ball 2, with Halton waiting on deck. All that being said, they may be careful with this matchup. Still an open base, even though it's the middle one, with a right-handed batter to follow. 2-0 pitch. And Hobson drives it in the air out the left. Fields gliding over to make the catch. And